Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bayern Now, the ultimate Bayern Munich fan channel. So, we have an incredible show today. It is January the 2nd, and that means it's transfer window time. 3 players Bayern Munich should look to sign in the January transfer window. You saw that thumbnail. It's not actually a joke. I genuinely do think we could sign Emre Can. In this transfer window, for me, we need a winger. We need a defensive midfielder, and we need a new right back. We already have every other position covered more than enough. Lewandowski is never going to get injured, and even if he did, we have Müller to get in his position. We have so many solutions in every other position except right back. I am not fond of Benjamin Pavard. I think football has changed from that type of right back where they need to be built up to be able to bomb forward, and the old school left back where it's the same way. They need to build forward and then keep moving forward as the game progresses, which makes football so much slower. I think the new right back of this age, you just bomb forward. So I'm gonna start the slideshow now. Leroy SANE. So every time it lands on a new player, Alan from Napoli. You don't know this kid. If you don't, he basically destroyed Liverpool in the Champions League. That's Alan from Napoli. That's João Cancelo at Manchester City. That's one of the players I think we need. He is so quick, very good going forward. And Emre Can. Emre Can is just an option in there, but those are the 3-4 players I think that we need to be signing this January transfer window. We genuinely need a right back. We need a whole new defensive midfielder. We don't need any center backs. I'll tell you why. We have every player. We have Lucas Hernandez, Niklas Süle, Boateng. If Boateng leaves, they're gonna have to replace him anyways. So we won't need a new center back. But Boateng is there. If he leaves, we need a new center back. But I don't think Boateng will leave because nobody wants him. We also have Javi Martinez, who can also play center back. We have like 4 options for 2 positions. So that's good enough. And plus Alaba, who can also play there. That's 5 players who can play the 2 center back positions. So I'm not concerned about center back. I don't care. I mean, there are other important things we need to do. For me, the most crucial player is Leroy SANE, and then a defensive midfielder. Like you saw on the board, Alan from Napoli is fantastic. There's already a feud going on between the Napoli team. They don't like each other or something. The owners and discontent and disinterest with the players. The players didn't listen to the owners. So everyone's unsettled at Napoli. If we want to go get Koulibaly, we can, but we were not. So we can get a player like Alan, who's experienced in the Champions League, experienced, in just holding that midfield. See, one of the things that is wrong with Bayern is we don't stop opposition from creating chances. That's one thing that we don't do. We can play a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 if Alan is here. We can play Thiago next to him and Goretzka. We can play, Thiago would be the attacking 8. No, Thiago would be actually the defensive 8. And Goretzka would be the attacking 8. Goretzka or Tolisso, who is making runs beyond the defense and making those late runs into the box. Whereas Alan is just going to sit there and destroy the opposition's play. That's exactly what I want. I want a player that can keep intercepting the ball, like Wilfred Ndidi at Leicester. A player that can keep pouncing on the ball. Every time the opponent gets the ball, I want a player like Alan who's there every single second, making sure that everything that doesn't go through our defense. You know what? Liverpool have Fabinho, right? And Henderson, who can play that position. Thiago can play the position, but he's not a natural one. Thiago is much better in that number 8 position where he's allowed to dribble and he's not thinking about the defensive aspect of the game too much. That's where he's the most brilliant midfielder in the world and most creative, in my opinion. But Kimmich can't play defensive midfielder because he's too small. He's just lightweight, For me, a defensive midfielder should be someone who's aggressive. Kimmich is aggressive, but in the way that he'll smash the floor if he loses the ball. That's not what I want. I want someone like Philipp Lahm. Philipp Lahm was a leader. Philipp Lahm wasn't aggressive. People get this wrong. Philipp Lahm wasn't like Roy Keane or, what's his name? Gattuso, where he would just push a player make a crunching tackle, or like Patrick Vieira and his amazing tackles. That's not what Kimmich is. Yeah, that's not what Kimmich is. So when we think about the position, I want someone who's aggressive at winning the ball, a ball-winning central defensive midfielder. We have a good defense and a good goalkeeper, but one of the things that can get overlooked is if we don't have a natural aggressive midfielder. You know what? Actually, Arturo Vidal was that guy for us. Right, of course he'd make the late runs. He was a box-to-box midfielder, and make the late runs into the box, score goals, right? But he was so aggressive in everything he did. Vidal was a crunching tackler. He would, every tackle he made gave the opponent something to think about whenever they saw him. Like, opponents were scared of going next to Vidal because he would just clear them out, but also get the ball so it wouldn't be a foul. We need that. I want that aggression in a player. That's the type of players I like. Players that have finesse with whatever they do, but also aggression. See how Thiago dribbles? He doesn't just, carry the ball. He dribbles past opponents and then makes a pass. He always dribbles with his mind. Thiago passes, and if you think about it, the amount of players Thiago takes out of the game with just one pass, which then leads Bayern to goals, is absolutely insane, right? Kimmich can't do that. We don't have a lot of players that can do that. So we need Thiago to be in his best position, which is, for me, alongside a midfield 3 in the defensive number 8 position, where he's not really a defensive midfielder, but he's not really an attacking midfielder either. He's just in between, a box to box. That's what Thiago is. He takes the ball from our box. He controls the tempo of the game. That's what Thiago is there to do, and he should be able to do that in every area of the pitch, knowing that someone like Allen is right next to him. And that's what I want. I want a player that can just continue to keep winning the ball. If Thiago lost the ball, he would pounce in. If our defense was sloppy and we're not making a tackle and not reading a marker, he would just rush in and make a weird slide tackle. Could be a penalty, but he makes that tackle, which prevents them from getting shots at us. We have a huge problem with conceding shots on the edge of our own box, which is telling me that we don't have a natural destroyer to destroy and disrupt opposition play. Javi Martinez used to be excellent at disrupting opposition play, right? They'll be ready to get a shot at Neuer, and he just come in behind and make a great challenge. That's what I want. Someone who reads the game exceptionally well, and I think Allen from Napoli and also Emre Can can do that. Emre Can left because he wasn't getting playing time, which I totally understand. But now that he's more mature and older and Pep isn't here anymore, we can use a player like him. We can definitely utilize him. We were looking at Rodri in the summer. We were looking at Marc Roca, right? We were looking at all these players that were very good on the ball, but were they destroyers? I want someone like Kante. I don't care if you're able to play or not. I don't care if you can make passes. If you can make a short pass to Thiago or Goretzka or Tolisso, whoever is there next to you, you don't need to worry about your ball playing capabilities. If you have players around that defensive midfielder who can play the ball, which we do, we have unlimited amounts of, then we can be okay. For me, right back. Let's go back to that right back position, João Cancelo. I think that he's not getting enough playing time at City because it's Pep Guardiola. The thing is with Pep wants players, he does a stupid thing where he makes you stay for like 2 months not playing you, but then he'll buy some players and just put them in immediately. He's not consistent with how he manages his players. So Cancelo is probably unsettled because he's thinking, well, I'm doing so well when I play. Why am I not playing? I watched the game City versus Everton yesterday, and Cancelo was all over the place. He was absolutely doing everything for City. He got an assist as well, which is absolutely sublime. Does that mean Pep is going to play him more? I'm not exactly sure. But for me, I want an athletic right back who's getting up and down the pitch with absolute pace, right? Pace is very important for me these days because when you have players like LEROY, SANE as attackers, Gnabry, every attacker nowadays seems to have a little bit of pace about them. So you need right backs who can track back and also bump forward. Not only is pace important, but awareness and how to use your pace. Alphonso Davies is excellent at when to be fast and when to be technical and elegant with his dribbles, but we need pace. I mean, seeing Davies do so well using his pace and also his incredible recovery tackling speed, he also makes some very good challenges. We need pace in the right back position. I don't want Pavard. I didn't want Pavard as a right back. I thought he was going to be a backup centre back. That's what I thought he was going to be, right? But then we have all these injuries and all these situations happen with Lucas Hernandez, which means that Alaba's moved to center back and Javi Martinez is out, Boateng's crap, so we have to move all these players out of their preferred positions. And then we have to do all these little weird things, and no one's watching the stream. What's happening? Nah, I'm enjoying this. But we have to do all these things, move players into their unpreferred positions, and then it just got all disjointed. And then Kimmich wants to play in midfield. If I'm the coach, I'm telling Kimmich, you're the best right back in the world, you know, if you're on your day, which last season was every week. Kimmich was the best right back in the world last season. He got the most assists. He made incredible. He had like the most distance covered, which is insane for a right back. So I'm gonna tell Kimmich, we want you at right back. You can't play center mid because we need a destroyer. You're not the center mid that we want, right? You know how many times teams would just get past Bayern? It's because we miss Bastian Schweinsteiger, right? Think about this. Bastian was the guy controlling the tempo of the game, right? He was the one making all the important passes, dribbling with incredible skill, and also, you know, he had very good techers on him. He could alleviate pressure, right? If the team was getting pressed, he would drop in and do all these incredible things, right? But alongside him, he had a destroyer, right? Someone who was just bam, bam. Whenever an opposition gets the ball, bam, pounce. Whenever we got the ball, he would just reserve himself and try and get involved, but not really. He's the guy who's gonna get the least touches on the pitch, but he's gonna tackle the ball the most. That's what I want now. I don't care. I don't really want a ball playing. We have too many ball players, man. Kimmich is one of the best passers in the world. So is Thiago. We have Tolisso and Goretzka who are able to carry the ball and shoot in the box. I don't care. I don't want anyone who can shoot. I don't want Ruben Neves shooting outside the box. I don't want these players. I want someone who can destroy and only disrupt play. Sometimes you can have those players where they only do one thing, but they're the best at it. That's what I want. Javi Martinez used to be able to do it when he was a bit quicker, but now he's lost like half his legs and pace. So that means he's not doing it at the highest level anymore. And I think that in order to have a team that's functional, we have to be able to do it at a higher level. That's personally what I think. I love Javi. I love everything he stands for. He's an excellent guy. He's almost a connection in the dressing room, but he can't be starting for Bayern in the defensive midfield role. We need someone quicker and faster. Liverpool got past us because we didn't have that natural destroyer. If you have a natural destroyer in there, doesn't care who's in the defense, they will just get protected all the time. But then if you have good defenders to mix with it, you'll just have an impeccable back line. I don't think Bayern should be conceding as many goals as we are because of the personnel we have in the defense. But we don't have a defensive midfielder. Thiago reads the game. But how often is it that we don't see Thiago when we're about to concede? It's because he isn't natural. Like, he isn't a natural aggressive ball winner. So, yeah, that's my opinions on that. So we do need a defensive midfielder. And also, Leroy, SANE, Allen. We've talked about Allen and the defensive midfield role. We'll go ahead and talk about right back. We've already talked about Cancelo getting up and down that right hand side. I want pace in my right back. I mean Kimmich, if he wants to play midfield, then we need a right back. We've talked about how Emre Can could be an option. He's not playing at Juventus, and he's actually one of, you know, on his days, one of the best. But this guy, Leroy SANE, that is who we want, right? This is who we want in that winger position. I want Leroy SANE to be our winger for the next 10 years. I think he has the quality, the ability to be there. Now there's an injury, like, should we go ahead and sign him in the January transfer window? Absolutely, I don't care. He's back in February. I think that we should ease him back into the side, but it should, this whole January transfer window, January, right, he'll be back in February next month. It should be almost like him just being in aligned with the culture of the club, right? Sane won't win anything at City again. He's probably thinking, yeah, I should go to a team that is historically good. See, this is what happens when you just buy all your success like Manchester City, is that when your players start gassing out and have nothing to be fighting for, where there's no fans, no passion in the fan base, what ends up happening is that players just start getting disinterested. This is what's happening at City now. They're losing games, they're drawing games, their defense obviously is a problem, right? I don't think they would be winning the title regardless if their defense was this good, because Liverpool are way above them in terms of playing. Liverpool, for me, is just way up there. And if you think about it, would a player go to Bayern Munich, a club historically known, 5 Champions League, winning all these league titles, has a huge fan base, one of the biggest clubs in the world, or Man City, a club that just has a bunch of money, there's... The internet is funny. On Twitter, you're far more hostile, while here you're pretty civilized. Yeah, I don't know, man. Twitter is just something else. It brings out that aspect of wanting to troll people so bad and piss them off. But when I'm on this channel, I just relax a little bit, and because I am making content for something I'm passionate about, so I'm obviously going to be more civilized. SAS98. So what was I even saying? Oh yeah, so Man City isn't an attractive proposition. I wouldn't go to City if I was an up-and-coming young player and they were willing to pay 100 million for me. I'd go to Bayern, who will offer 5 million for me, but it's a historically good club. It's just the history, the elegance. I mean, imagine being at Bayern Munich and you just, on the other side, you see Champions Leagues, trophies, right? You're an opposition player. You see Champions League, Bundesliga titles, DFB Pokals, some of the greatest players to ever play the game. You see the face of Franz Beckenbauer, right? You see Franz Beckenbauer on the wall. You see Lothar Matthäus, Michael Ballack. You see Manuel Neuer. You see Robert Lewandowski. You see all these incredible footballers who are probably some of the best in their positions. I mean, Beckenbauer is one of the greatest center backs of all time. You see Oliver Kahn's face going, ah! I mean, you're obviously going to be more intimidated by that. But seeing City with their HD photos that were taken last year of De Bruyne holding the title, and he's right there. I mean, there's no history with City. And they're not going to have it for at least 20 years. I'm telling you, City need to be winning 20 years consistently and need to be on top, need to produce some of the best players of all time in order for me to think, oh yeah, they're an attractive proposition. I think players want, that's why you see players like Harry Maguire wanting to go to Manchester United over Manchester City, because despite the fact that Manchester United isn't even an attractive proposition anymore, they still think of the history behind the club, the years of absolute dominance, and they want to be part of that. So that's why I think that we can attract anyone, because we have so much history. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern are the top clubs in terms of consistently winning, and also consistently when Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern are the top 3. We are never in like a in a ditch, right? Juventus I would put in there, but they're still in that phase of building themselves up. AC Milan, they died, because they don't have the culture that Bayern had. AC Milan just had great teams and great players that won a lot of great trophies, but they don't have the consistency. For a club to be great, for me, it has to have great players, it has to have great history, and it also has to have great ownership. We have all those things. So does Barcelona, so does Real Madrid. Except Barcelona will be dying after Messi retires. So Bayern, Real Madrid, Barcelona are the top 3. And then you start going because we won more. I mean, we won more Champions League than most teams, except AC Milan and a few others. I mean, Chelsea are becoming that team where it's prestigious, you're looking at it. United have lost their way, Arsenal have as well, but Arsenal has never been a threat to me. We'll beat them 10-2 no matter where they're at in their history. With Patrick Vieira, we still beat them 10-2. Man, so that is the stream. Thank you so much, SAS98, for tuning in. Appreciate you. Follow me on Twitter. Nah, I don't know what the point of Twitter is. It's just for me to piss people off. But Mia san Mia. How do I end the stream? I think I forgot. Wait. Oh my god. Wait. How do I end the stream? Oh, end stream. Should be that button.